I experienced my first crime here in Colombia. I have to admit, I didn't plan to like Colombia before I decided to come here due to all the negative media about the country. Oh my god, I can't get up! But as soon as I landed in Medellín, I was not only proven wrong, but also had the biggest surprise of my life. I just landed in Colombia New Year's Eve, and now I have checked into this co-living in Medellín called Outside, which is another location of the previously not so good experience that I had in Mexico City. And this one, I think it's a lot better. As you can see behind, it is a circular building and it's very, very cool architecturally. I love circular buildings, so that's a plus. So now I'd like to take you to a tour of this amazing building. So my room is the cheapest and smallest room. I'd say it's quite basic, pretty small. The bathroom is pretty decent. But here's the interesting thing, like it actually opens to the front of the house, which has a really nice view. And technically I should be able to use this as a terrace, but this is completely locked because of security reasons, because people could literally come in from outside. So unfortunately, this is a window so far. This co-living straight out of Architectural Digest is located in the most prestigious neighborhood of Medellín, El Poblado. When I arrived, it reminded me of Hollywood Hills in Los Angeles. It's a privilege to be able to spend a few weeks here where it's not too far from the hustle and bustle of the city, but also get to enjoy the serenity and beautiful views like this. One of my top Nomad strategies is to get touristy things done early and out of the way so I can enjoy slower local life after. So a few days after I settled down in the circular co-living, I signed up for a tour to Guatape, an area with beautiful, uniquely colorful houses and a very impressive rock. This area is popular with helicopter tours just like this one. At first I thought it's a little unnecessary because it's just a weird looking rock and a bunch of lakes, but I quickly realized why a helicopter might have been nice if we could afford it. There are almost 800 steps with 90-degree vertical incline. On top of that, even the climb to the bottom of the rock where the 800 steps begin requires moderate hiking. To save our energy for the actual rock climbing, we decided to pay for one of those delightful tuk-tuks full of colors. We're finally in the tuk-tuk because we're too lazy to walk up. It's been proven I'm not in good shape. We're only less than 1/3 to the top, but I'm already dead. There are 750 steps. It's only 200, barely. But the view is magnificent. While the magnificent view was expected, something quite peculiar we found out looking down from the top wasn't. Alright, this is the top of the rock. It's much bigger than we thought, but an interesting discovery. We found a QR code on top of a hill. Obviously, it's for sale, but nobody can scan it because it's too tiny. Developer, did you know that? Back in town, we were delightfully overwhelmed by a sensory overload of colors and some fun dancing with very theatrical storylines. I like the fact that the town is much more than just painting all houses colorful and throwing in some tourist-pleasing traditional dances. It is practically a living art museum because every house is required to have its own unique zócalo, which is a 3D sculpture at the bottom of the exterior wall of each house with a story of its own. As if fully colorful houses are not enough, every corner there is a marketing vehicle painted outlandishly. If you're a designer and color lover like myself, you'll definitely fall in love with Guatape. Speaking of Colombia, we can't skip talking about its dark past. Yes, that one, the drugs. Well, unfortunately, that's why the country still carries the stigma that deters a lot of people from visiting, which shouldn't be the case because the country has changed so much since those days. It indeed has shaped the country in significant ways. I was surprised to find that everything related to the biggest narco in history, Pablo Escobar, who was from Medellín, has been turned into tourist sites, including his former estate, which we can now see from the boat.
I've seen it in this moment. Guys, the property is huge.
Back in Medellín, another part of the country's dark history has now also been turned into a popular tourist destination. Comuna 13, or the 13th district of Medellín, used to be one of the most dangerous areas in the city. The area used to be highly unstable due to strong presence of narcos and guerrilla militant groups. In the early 2000s, the government conducted a series of operations that eliminated these groups in the area with subsequent infrastructure investments that transformed the neighborhood from a once dangerous area to a thriving one today, known for graffitis, street performances, and vibrant energy.
The real surprise I have for you is that this beautiful lady that you see here, guys, she's my sister.
Hola.
This is his boyfriend.
Hola.
They've been together for a long time.
Our tour guide, who is from Comuna 13 himself, introduced us to the coffee shop his sister and her boyfriend operate together. I have never seen another coffee shop with a better view.
This shop has the best view. Look at that. Wow.
In addition to watching non-stop hip-hop dancing performances, one of the coolest things to do in Comuna 13 is to have these local rap artists weave in your name and country into improvised songs they produce on the spot.
Yo tengo el estilo, por eso le digo que nunca la paro. Bienvenido, fam. Para China, welcome, yo te digo ni hao. Que chimba ir a Italia, a la torre de pizza. Un saludo porque saben. You, girl. Gracias, mi amor. You, dancing. Es lo mejor, yo. Ponte la pila. You, my friend. Hey, tírate un paso. Hey, tírate un paso. Hey.
Besides talented hip-hop dancers, rap and mural artists, Comuna 13 is also home to perhaps the smartest drivers in the world. So I just had the most insane experience on the bus today at the Comuna 13 tour. So it's very hilly in the area, right? And I had to pay the bus driver a large bill because I don't have small bills. And I was not expecting change because he was maneuvering these crazy hills. But as I was sitting down, he already casually gave me change with coins and everything as he was maneuvering with one hand all these crazy hills as if this is nothing, because it really is nothing, as he probably does this every day. As a digital nomad, I tend to stay in a location between 1 to 3 months. I always try to go to neighborhoods where it's not so touristy and where locals really live. I was thrilled to find a very low-key guided tour that took me to the neighborhood of Miraflores and Buenos Aires, two areas that few, if any, tourists visit. My tour guide Felipe and I took the cable cars to get to these two neighborhoods, which is one of the things I love about Latin American cities. Cable cars here are not for tourists. They're how locals commute every day if they live on the hills, which, unlike in North America, here it tends to be poorer areas.
Wow. Hola. I'm with my tour guide, Felipe. And originally we have a group tour, but the other couple canceled. So it's just me and Felipe. We are touring the Miraflores area, but you think Miraflores is a section of the neighborhood called Buenos Aires. And this is kind of like Comuna 13, but with less media attention and more authentic.
The streets in Miraflores and Buenos Aires look nothing out of the ordinary, but it's precisely here where Felipe introduced me to a concept called Colombian Logic, which basically means no logic at all. So this store, it's called Buenos Aires Pizza y Lasagnas, but it actually sells ice cream. Why?
The dessert. The dessert.
The dessert. Okay, so this place won the
Ice
first
cream of the world.
gelato world tour. And the flavor is what? Felipe?
Maracuja.
Maracuja,
Passion fruit.
passion
and
fruit,
Chocolate.
and chocolate. So this is passion fruit chocolate flavored gelato, which I didn't expect to taste good at all, but it actually meshes really well. Just because the chocolate actually it's sprinkled everywhere. It's not actually mixed in completely. And if you happen to be an architecture nerd like me, don't miss out on this museum called Museo Casa de la Memoria. This irregular rectangular shaped building with the gorgeous mountain as a backdrop is simply a feast to the eyes. On the bougie side of the city, back in El Poblado, another hidden architectural gem is the El Castillo Museum and Gardens, which instantly transported me back to Europe. The garden area boasts sweeping views of this beautiful city of eternal springs, which really does have pleasant spring temperature year-round. But with a twist, because rainy season here with faulty architectural design in my next co-living can be very interesting. My friend Sylvia and I were staying in rooms with open-air bathrooms with no roof. When it's sunny, it's absolutely divine, but when it rains, the absurd bathroom that Sylvia experienced. Wait, where is the water coming from? Oh, wow. The floor is all wet. Oh my god. Okay, so the floor is completely wet. But why? Because this is covered. I don't know how. So like, see? She can't even go to the bathroom when it's raining. And this is the same as my room because it's open. But I think, I don't know. This is like insane though.
It's not like it's yours? Like
No, mine is not wet like that. But this is like, oh, and also here, my terrace. Wait. Okay, so my terrace has no.
It's a pool.
Exactly.
You get a private pool.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know how to film this. Like, basically, the pool.
You get a private
Yeah, you get a private pool when it's raining. Because, well, I think that one is kind of like blocked.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
That one's blocked by tree branches, I think. Well, the good thing is, the rain only lasts for about an hour or two each time, and it's never with high humidity like in Southeast Asia, which can be very unpleasant. Overall, I really do love the climate here because I like warm but pleasant weather with lower humidity year-round, and Medellín is one of the rarest places on Earth that offers that combination, thanks to its proximity to the equator while sitting on higher altitude of around 1,500 meters above sea level. So far, Medellín and Colombia in general sounded like a dream, which is nothing like the notorious reputation the country has been suffering from. So, what was I referring to in the beginning of this video about crimes? Here's what actually happened. So what happened was I ordered grocery delivery and I had to leave early because I had to go to a tour. So I messaged the delivery driver to please put the grocery in front of my room, which is behind a series of plants. And he did that. He submitted proof of delivery with the grocery to the platform and everything seemed fine. When I came back at night, I found no groceries. Okay, and then I thought, well, maybe he placed it somewhere else. So I walked all over the property and found nothing. So I reached out to our really helpful community manager and asked her to see if she can find security camera footage. Luckily, there are security cameras everywhere on the property. So guess what happened? She told me he took the photo, packed up the food, and left with the food. So I thought, okay, wow. So another housemate of ours actually had similar issues with delivery drivers pulling shady tricks. I guess this is my first experience of this kind of issues here. It's definitely not unique to Colombia, but I just thought, you know, how stupid. You're delivering to a house with security cameras you can see, right? Luckily, the platform was very streamlined. They just refunded me right away, gave me the credit, but just want to recount this experience here. While I have experienced no safety issues. Everywhere actually felt really safe for me. I just use common sense, don't display valuables, but definitely beware of little scams here and there. So based on my personal experience, I don't feel any more unsafe than how I felt in many other countries. Daily life here is normal. The main problem is probably some forms of scams here and there. Most serious crimes target tourists who are drunk, displaying valuables, and those who frequent sex workers. And what about the notorious reputation of Colombian food being bad? After living here for 2 months, I will say this is an unfair reputation for the food here. This is my first formal Colombian meal, and I don't know why people don't like Colombian food. I actually like it. It's very, if done right, it's very flavorful. All of the food I've had here had been delicious and flavorful. It just doesn't have the same spice level as other more colorful cuisines like Mexican food. But why would Colombian food be the same as Mexican food, right? I will say though, compared to big families of cuisines like Mexican food or Chinese food, which are world famous for good reasons, Colombian food does lack in variety in comparison. Last but not least, the one thing that drew me to Colombia the most is dancing, which has become my #1 passion in life since last year. There's dancing every single day here, and according to some locals, if you don't dance, you don't have friends. The even better thing is, because of this culture, most expats and digital nomads I met here are also dancers, which makes it so much easier to meet people. I even went to Cali, the 3rd largest city in Colombia, for a salsa retreat organized by and for nomads, which transformed my salsa skills as a bachata dancer. Our teachers, Francis and Nati, a famous Colombian salsa influencer couple, were absolutely phenomenal. They're not just extremely talented dancers, but also the nicest people. Every day during the retreat, we work during the day and have 2 hours of intensive dance lessons with Francis and Nati every single day. It's both a retreat and a boot camp. Even some of the absolute beginner dancers are able to confidently dance only after 2 weeks of training by these 2 amazing teachers. This retreat is truly a dream come true, learning from world-class dancers and becoming friends with them, along with a group of like-minded, dance-loving, location-independent professionals, just like myself. It's organized by the Digital Nomads Association of Colombia. If you're a Latin dance lover like myself, sign up for their next dance retreat because now it is going to be a recurring event. By the time I left Medellín, I was already planning my return. This doesn't happen with every city I lived in as a digital nomad, so I can confidently say that Medellín and Colombia turn out to be extremely special for me. While there's still a lot of friends who are asking if Colombia is safe to visit, I have already fallen in love with its diversity of people, pleasant climate, beautiful nature, strong digital nomad community, world-class non-stop dancing, and most importantly, the feeling of being free to express ourselves passionately in whatever way that feels true to ourselves. Stay tuned for another episode of my digital nomad journey across the world. Subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon next time.